Hello everyone, today we're doing a quick instructional video for those that are a little bit less familiar with Roll20 or like to have something to listen to or watch rather than read when they're going through a checklist of stuff that they need to do for the campaign. So when you get the invitation to the campaign, you will end up here, and for the players in the campaign, you can just hit launch game. For me, since I am the Dungeon Master, I'll need to hit this launch as player instead option, and it'll load up the campaign for me. Now, once you're in Roll20, what you want to do is look over here. You'll see these tabs on the chat area. Go over to the furthest tab. The display name, you want to set that to be whatever you are on the Discord. It just makes it easy for me to connect the dots between Discord and here when I'm assigning journals and things like that. So if you can change this name to be your Discord name, that is incredibly helpful. The second thing I would highly recommend is you can look through all these options if you want to, but down here under audio and video, there is a tab that has the video display tab. This thing here, this player video avatar size, is what this little avatar here is in the bottom left, and it does take up a lot of space by default. So I would say change it to names only, especially if we end up having a bunch of people in the campaign. Having it set to names only means that you can actually see stuff that's happening. Once you've gone through these options and decided what you like with the settings, what you would want to do is go over here to this next tab that has collections on it, and these will be automatically unchecked. You want to check both show macro quick bar and the in bar option. What that's going to do is it's going to put this little button on the bottom left of your screen, and in the chat box, if you click this button, it'll toggle on talking to yourself. So you can type whatever you want, and it won't be seen by anyone else. This is also very important when you are using your macros and buttons and testing different things. You can say, oh, I don't remember what my feature is, but rather than, saying it to everyone, if you wanted to know what your starting feature was, you could click the button and it'll tell you, or ideally this one will tell you, but this macro is broken. But it'll pop out what the pieces of it are and allow you to figure out what's happening here. Although I don't know why this entire thing is broken. We'll have to see if this is broken for everybody or if for some reason me joining as a player has made it a little wonky. So yeah, once you get here, you get this talk to yourself button, you should be able to see your classes. So if you go into the journals tab, there should be a player houses. You can go to wherever your region is. It should be the only one that you can open up and go to your house. I'm showing House Godfrey as an example here. Once you've got that all set up, open up your first character and change the name of your alchemist. It can be whatever you want it to be. You can also use your trait here. So this is the careful alchemist. And that's enough, right? So that gives you a way to refer to it, that it just is no longer a copy of alchemist. And then in this area, you're going to go to the abilities and attributes, and you're going to fill out just this top part. So basically everything above skill points is going to have something you're going to need to fill out. So on the character census, you'll be able to find your hit points, your temporary hit points you don't need to worry about. If you have a shield, you want to put your raised shield cost on here, as well as whatever your movement penalty for your shield is, your shield hit points, and your block. If you have any questions about this, you can of course ask in the Discord and I can help you out. And then you're going to put your stats here. And one of the important things to remember is the stats here are mod and then stat. So if you have a 14 strength, that means you're doing 214 like this. Everything that refers to stuff is going to refer to this first value. And you don't want to have that as 14 because that means your character is, above God level strength. So once you've got this filled out, you'll notice that all of these buttons over here, some of them say show as token action, some do not. If there are buttons that you want to be able to use, something like rolling up new mice and using the HP rolls for your new mice, you probably don't need to have that on your token at all time. If your character is unlikely to be a spellcaster, you can take off the spellcraft thing, so I can look at my barbarian character who I feel is unlikely to be a spellcaster, and I can uncheck their spellcraft option. And then I can just know what else I need, what I've got going on. Now, in here, when you look at things, it should say Your class skills will tell you what you can train in, but you don't really need to worry about that until it is time to play. By default, just including this stuff should get you ready to play, although I would recommend also going to this thing where it has all the different weapons and checking the options for things you have. So my alchemist here, let's say they've got a one-handed weapon and they've got a one-handed range thing because they do have a shield, and then that's all I need to worry about. Now, if I go to say my character has a sword and they also have a hand crossbow, when I go to use them, I can just go and look at this and say, all right, I'm either slashing with a sword, two-handed, or I'm piercing with a sword, and then this will give me the ability to attack with it. And it will generate everything that I need using my stats. Now, if I instead want to not have this drop down or want to change this drop down, I can open up this, and if you feel comfortable, you can just delete whatever is not relevant to you. So, we've got these attacks here. The Warhammer is not something I'm ever going to use. Warhammer one-handed, and I can just keep going down mace, I can keep going down short spear, keep going down, and I'm not going to use any of this until we get down to sword. And I can just delete all the stuff I'm not going to use. Now, it's entirely up to you. It's up to how comfortable you feel with macros. Whether you want to delete all of it or just delete some of it. I went through right there, and all I did was I just deleted the first chunk of things to make the drop down smaller. And this got me most of what I needed. I have my sword as a one-handed. What happens if I'm using it slashing two-handed, piercing as well, and then I have an axe down here at the bottom. So if I really wanted to, be completionist about it, I could open it back up and say, all right, well, let's look at that axe entry, and you're going to delete everything from this little end bracket up to where you've got axe. So we're going to delete all of that, and now we've got just our options for our sword. Now you can do that if you feel, uncomfortable doing this, or you're not entirely sure about it. You can perfectly, it's perfectly fine to leave it. Or if you don't like it and you're saying, I don't trust myself enough to delete the right stuff. Once you get to this stage, you can let me know, hey, I need a little bit of help with my journal. If you get to here and you look and you don't have anything in here, that means that I have not yet assigned your house and your mice to your character entry. So either things got missed or you've just joined the campaign. Either way, if you get here and this is just blank, all you have is the handouts and there's nothing else, what I would recommend is just sending me a message in Discord. Say, hey, I'm logged into Roll20, I set my name to be the same, and I don't know what I need to do now, and I can hop on and set your house up for you. So that should be it. That should be having you ready to play. Now, while you are ready to play from here, it is going to be using the default journal tokens. So one other thing you can do is, if I pull out this barbarian, it's going to give me just a generico barbarian. And I can use this barbarian, I can use this token to do whatever I need to with it, but, I might not like that my barbarian looks the same as every other barbarian, right? I might be wanting my barbarian to look something different. If you do want your barbarian to look different, if you have an idea for a cool picture you want to use for your barbarian, just send it to me on Discord and let me know, and I can remake your token and assign the token and make sure everything works perfectly. So if you have any other questions, as always, jump in the Discord, and welcome to the campaign. I hope to see you at table soon.